jazzing up your day with a touch of soul. The Living Room on 938 Live.
Welcome into the Living Room on 938 Live, and the Living Room today is brought to you by SG50 as Singapore celebrates her 50th birthday next year. Now, the SG50 Celebration Fund hopes to help Singaporeans find a unique and community-centric way to celebrate. Now, in our 4-part series, we're joined by people who are benefiting from the fund. Today, Merlion mouth painting. We're chatting with Christina Lau, who gathered a group of disabled mouth painting artists to paint the iconic Merlion. Now, these pieces of art will be printed into 100 commemorative postcards for free distribution. And we hear the project's kind of almost done. So, hi Christina, thanks for joining us today. Yeah. So you gathered some of your friends and decided why? Why the Merlion?
Actually, we have a few ideas. It's like, example, like we actually got this Singapore flower orchid, and then Esplanade, blah blah blah, so many. So at the end, actually,
too many ideas to pick from. Oh dear.
Yes. So actually, we decided to choose Merlion. And then why Merlion? Because everybody know that Merlion is a very unique icon, represents Singapore, and it also have a very special features on it. So a lot of things like buildings, flowers, other country might have it also. So I believe only Merlion is a very special feature.
Singaporean thing, right?
Which is only represents Singapore.
Yeah.
So we choose Merlion.
How many of you?
3 of us actually.
Huh?
We have 3 artists to join this project. So we came out with this idea because I don't want to 3 artists to paint individual pictures, painting. So I thought of maybe why not 3 artists, we combine the painting to just one piece, and then we paint something that is represent Singapore.
Okay, let me try and explain figure out how this works. Each of you painted a different section of the Merlion, right? And then the sections were put together to form a larger painting. So who got what piece? Because the Merlion's stomach is quite boring. No?
Okay, actually, Merlion itself is the main subject.
Yeah.
Then there is the background. It's like the sky, the beach, the flower, the so-called the river.
Yeah.
So we actually we have different job to do. So we discuss who to put on the which parts of the painting to put up. So there's a lot of layer to come in also. First layer, second layer, and then the last to complete, and then the last touch up of the finishing of the painting.
Did the 3 of you at any one time feel, I wish we had more help?
No, it's actually because it's not much. It's not very big piece of paper. So the 3 of us actually can manage. It's only that the problem is the color must be very consistent.
So you've got to use the same kinds of products. And,
correct. Because 3 artists, we have our own own style of painting. So we always told to remind ourselves that make sure the 3 artists that we draw on the piece of paper must be very consistent, not too dark, not too light. The tone of color must be very
must match, right?
Match.
Suddenly somebody's is black and white. So why did you decide to do this particular project as a way to signify our 50th birthday next year?
Actually, I just want to let disabled people out there to have more courage to join, to contribute to the society.
You didn't know, right, that Christina was sitting in a wheelchair. See, that's the power of radio. And you also paint with your mouth, is that right? So the brush goes into your mouth.
Yes. Okay, because I'm a mouth painter, so we actually paint with our mouth, using the brush, bite with our brush, and then paint. So there's a lot of things that we can do, you see. So we are not just disabled, we can contribute and make Singapore proud of us also.
Were you ever able to hold a brush and paint with your hands?
No.
So you don't know what it was like.
Because,
so there's no problem, right?
Yes, yeah, right.
So what about your other friends, the other 2 who've helped you out in this particular project?
Yeah,
they too hold the brush in the mouth,
we are
right?
all mouth painter.
Okay.
So Raymond and William, they are actually doing the same thing like me. So we paint. So we came out that we think that painting with our mouth is very it's very satisfaction when you actually can paint.
It's not easy. I tried to write something down just
precisely
on my script with my pen in my mouth. Yeah, you can't read it. Not happening.
Precisely, because when by thing, right, then there's a limited of so-called stretch on our neck area, so we can't actually paint like people who are normal that using their hand.
For too long.
Yes, you're right.
How long? Usually
It's like 3 to 4 hours.
Sounds like a long time already. When to find out more about the process of how Christina Lau and her friends, mouth painters, they painted the Merlion, stuck it together in the form of an 11-inch by 15-inch painting. Now, this painting will then be printed into 100 commemorative postcards, distributed for free. We'll tell you how and when it's all going to be happening. And this is all part of SG50 as Singapore celebrates its 50th birthday next year. Christina also went and got herself the SG50 Celebration Fund. We're going to find out how the application process went and how it all came together. This edition of The Living Room, in fact, brought to you by SG50. More in a bit. Stay with us.
The Living Room on 938 Live. Time now to rejoin The Living Room on 938 Live.
Thanks for staying with us on The Living Room on 938 Live. This edition of The Living Room brought to you by SG50. Today we're chatting with Christina Lau, who along with two of her friends decided to paint the Merlion. Now, in case you think that might not be something special now, Christina and her friends paint with their mouths. This is not an easy task. I tried writing something with my pen in my mouth. It did not happen. And also Christina was telling us, usually they can only paint for about 3 or 4 hours before the next starts to set in, right?
Yeah.
So you told me earlier that it's all said and done. The painting is done. It's now formed into an 11-inch by 15-inch painting, and it's going to be printed into commemorative postcards.
Yes.
So you also all got the help of the SG50 Celebration Fund.
Yes.
When you applied for it and when you heard back that you
Yes.
were successful, where were you and how did you feel?
I was very excited because I thought I wanted to contribute something to SG50. So when I heard that this project can be done, I was like very excited to carry out as soon as possible. Yeah, so actually I gathered with the other two artists and then
Had a party and then...
not really party, but we were, very excited wanted to faster finish off and then to get the project done.
So what's happening now? The painting is done. It is off to the printers.
Yes, the painting is already done, but then we are still waiting for the response for the sponsor for printing as a postcard. And then the other thing is, because I wanted the postcard to place it at the spots, tourist spots. So I actually asked for Singapore Airlines to get their approval to place the postcard at the airport.
Ah, okay. And maybe on the plane too, distribute it to foreigners. You never know, right? That might be a good idea.
Yes.
So how are you hoping that this will tell people that Singapore is a great place to live as we celebrate 50 years?
Yeah, actually, I hope that the postcard, when whoever receive it, that they know this is Singapore, a nice place to stay in, a nice place to come to visit. So, I want to pass this message to all people who came to Singapore to visit. So the postcard that is represent Singapore, that is the main so-called purpose.
Why only 100 though? Like very few?
No, actually...
are you going to be printing more maybe?
Yeah. Actually, that is only a rough idea, 100 pieces. But of course, if I need more, I will happy to print more to distribute to more people.
Do you think though, if you hadn't applied for the SG50 Celebration Fund, you might have continued doing this anyway?
Yes. Actually, if there's no this project, I might have also come to this idea, because I just want to let people know more about what is small painting and what Singapore like, to let them know what kind of country is Singapore. It's a nice place to visit.
Can people come and learn mouth painting with you? From you?
From me? Not yet.
Hint, hint. Maybe you should hold some classes and people can...
I hope so in future. Yeah, of course, that will make myself, improve myself too. So I would like to, if I can.
So, just to let everyone know, the SG50 Celebration Fund is about $50,000. Where is this money going in your particular project?
I'm not getting that much because mine is just a very small project. But it's not the money concern. That's what I say. It's only that what I want to
We just want to try and figure out where the money went in case people think you can't just apply for the celebration fund and then have a party. It doesn't work that way. It's got to be a community-centric way to celebrate unique Singapore.
Yep.
Right? So where is the money going in your particular project?
Basically, it's
the
like
art supplies,
the
paints.
the supplies, the accessories of the drawing paper, brushes, and then of course the printing of postcards. And then transport-wise, that we travel everywhere that we go. Yeah, that's the main fund that I actually think of. The rest is not that much.
Right. So what are your hopes for Singapore in the next 50 years? I mean, 50 years from now, how will you be celebrating? You know, we need to paint something else.
Yes.
So this year we painted the Merlion. What about in the next 50 years?
Yeah, maybe there's other building to come out, a new building, whatever, that is also very so-called unique for Singapore. Yeah, I might actually interesting of painting again to whatever things that represent Singapore.
During the process of painting the Merlion, you and your other two friends, did it feel different from your usual painting? Because of the added meaning and significance to it. So was it pressurizing a bit?
Not pressurized, but then we actually take very cautious of what we are drawing to make sure that, a Merlion, it actually looked like a Merlion.
Not interpretive, anyhow interpret, right?
Yes.
Sounds good to us. Where can we see this, hopefully, the postcards?
Maybe next month or maybe next 2 months. You know, the earliest that I think next month possibly everything can be done.
You probably have to check out the Singapore50.sg website. They'll let us know where Christina Lau's postcards will be posted or where they'll be distributed. Christina Lau, along with her friends, decided to paint the iconic Merlion. Together they painted each a section of the Merlion, which they then put together. The painting is 11 inches by 15 inches, and now this painting will be printed into commemorative postcards. Christina, thank you so much for joining us today. This edition of The Living Room brought to you by SG50. Find out more about the Celebration Fund at Singapore50.sg.
Looking at life from a different perspective. The Living Room on 938 Live.